How prevalent is blue bubbles and green bubbles? Is someone a part of Gen Z? And honestly, I'm gonna give you guys a short answer. It's pretty prevalent still, which kind of sucks. Now, you guys should all be familiar with this topic. It's basically iPhone users get green messages when they text someone that has SMS or RCS, which is pretty much Android users. They gentrify, that's not the word. They categorize all of them as Android users. And in their head, they're just Android equals broke. This was such a big topic back in the day and should not be prevalent still, but unfortunately, it is, at least here in the United States where I live. And it's the fact that RCS has gotten better. It's been implemented into iPhones now. And now nothing should really suck with green bubbles, but people just still in their head like, oh my goodness, this green bubbles, this is gonna suck to text them. Like, dude, I'm about to have to send a whole separate message on their end that I just reacted to their message. Like, we're done with that at this point, right? RCS is pretty great now. I at least understand it personally. I use an iPhone personally. I'm not gonna lie, I use an iPhone just because it's easier, at least here in the United States. Along with this green bubble and blue bubble mess, you also have other features of iPhones like AirDrop that just make things so much more seamless, or, touching your phone so you guys can trade contacts. Everyone does that, at least where I'm from. So, little things like that just make it so much easier. Because personally, I can care less if someone's judging me based on my text color on their screen. I decided to go ask some people too, and they all said that they don't really care about the color of the text, but they do subconsciously judge you for having poor taste, I guess. I decided to go with the Android route instead of getting an iPhone like everyone else has, at least younger people. This is all just based on basic texting. We haven't gone to relationships and stuff like that, how that affects your relationships and stuff. Honestly, it's best just to get away with people that judge you based on your color. It's like racism all over again, greenism. But generally, people will subconsciously judge you, so people will want to get away from you just because you have the green bubbles on your phone. So for some reasons, things just don't change, and kids are still judging each other based on the phone that they decide to get. And most of the time, it's not the phone that they decided to get. It's just the phone their parents decided to get them. We should all be grateful that, they got phones in the first place, especially with younger kids, bro. Kids that were born 2010 and beyond, bro, since they all have phones now, they all judge each other based on their phones. It's just like boys versus girls or console wars all over again. They just evolve. At least with older people, the problem is pretty much solved. You have green bubbles, who cares really? But for others, it is still that deep. So in total, I'm going to still classify it as a problem that we have to face today in at least modern society with younger kids and teenagers, but it doesn't really stop there. We can also move on to the emojis that Android has. This is a very diverse topic because different phone manufacturers typically have different emojis. Well, let's say you post something on social media and in the text you decide to put some emojis on their screen. It's going to show up as your emoji because it's a photo sent. Like, let's say you're on Snapchat and you put a little text on your image and you put some emojis on it. It's going to show up as the quote-unquote Android emojis. People will be flaming you for that. Like, I've seen videos literally on TikTok too, where people will post like a little caption to their video and they put like the wilted rose and skull emoji, whatever emoji's popping, right? But it's in the Android emoji thingy, whatever it is. Just not an iPhone emoji. People will start losing their stuff in the comment section and start laughing and making fun of the person. And I just think that's pretty ridiculous to be laughing that much over a slightly differently drawn emoji. Like, in the grand scheme of things, what's really gonna matter? What phone you had or how you judge people based on their phone? Well, none of those things are really gonna matter, but having the Android phone is gonna matter less. And this issue really only affects the United States. As seen in other places in the world, a lot of other places actually like to use WhatsApp to message people, or really another form of messaging, because then nobody's segregated by bubble colors and FaceTime issue is actually solved. So the FaceTime issue, I clumped it into the Apple ecosystem, but on WhatsApp, you can just FaceTime on there without an issue. Everyone can FaceTime on WhatsApp and it's fine, but over here, people like to get your number and they like to FaceTime you with the Apple FaceTime. If you can't do that to some very immature people, they like to classify it as a deal breaker. So ridiculous and childish, actually, like thinking about this and then just saying it out loud, like, people are judging you because you can't FaceTime them the proper way. I think that's a little bit ridiculous to be saying out loud. I want to go to the question of, has this issue truly gotten better over time? Because back then, you don't understand how big of a topic that was, just because people would send images to their Android friends or vice versa, and then the quality would be straight poo-poo doo-doo. And then now the Apple users and the Android users would just collide and start tagging each other. No, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, whatever. And that really just painted the narrative for both sides of phone users, and it really has gotten at least a bit better. People aren't talking about it nearly as much. It's really only affecting especially the younger crowds. And as you get older, that's just the less people that care about it, and the more people that care about it, obviously, are the younger ones. I have stated that. So hopefully we can just work together as a society and not care about the phone you're using, and rather we can get flying cars in place and actually advance our society without these ridiculous societal norms and issues that only affect your relationship with other people for the most ridiculous reasons, right? There's more than just green bubble versus blue bubble and Android. There's so much more issues, but this is the one I wanted to focus on today and talk about. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see y'all later. Love y'all. God bless y'all, and have a great rest of your day.